AutoCAD is basically a good good designing software that is used for multiple things. Okay, so the very first thing what you can start learning with AutoCAD is, can you see the screen? Can you visualize the
Yes,
screen?
sir.
Okay, so this screen will appear the moment you start opening up AutoCAD. Just click on start drawing. Okay, it will open up this window. So the very first few exercises you have very fundamental thing, not the 3D version. Okay, so just have a look. So in order to start with the very fundamental 2D version, click on drafting and annotation. First you have to click that. So your frame, your everything will get changed. Your ribbon, okay, this part is called as a ribbon. It got home, insert, annotate, parametric, view, manage, output, add-ins, etc. So there are a lot of things in the thing, and in the bottom you got command window. This is actually responsible for all the commands what we use. Okay, first thing is we have to set the units. Click on units. The command is units. Then set the drawing units to precision of 0, then insertion scale to millimeters, then click the lighting standards to international and click OK. Okay,
Sir,
yeah,
sir, your command bar is not visible.
now okay, units, then precision of 0, then millimeters. Okay, then click the lighting units to international and then click OK. Now it is visible, guys.
No, sir. Not to me, at least.
Okay, for the rest of the people I hope it is visible.
No, sir. Not visible.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, at least the drawing
Can you
window
present the
visible?
whole screen, sir? Maybe then.
I'll share the entire screen in that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, just have a look. Now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So type the command units, 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 because this is essential, because every unit what we follow is millimeters. So set the units to millimeters and precision to 0. Don't go for any other precision. Lighting you don't change, make it as international. Okay, so just I'll start making up the very fundamental things. Okay, in drawing the very fundamental thing is lettering and numbering. So for this there is something called as text. Okay, on top of the ribbon you got something called as text. Click on single line text. Okay, I'm just going with a single line text. Then specify any point, then specify the height. Okay, but before that, in order to make this text vertical, okay, 90 degrees, make ortho mode on. Okay, ortho mode on. Okay, this option you have to click, or there is an option here. Okay, the shortcut for this is F8. Okay, keep a note, F8. So after that, click on text, single line text I am using. So specify any point. I'm just mentioning the height as 10 mm and the angle. Okay, the moment you just give text height, it will automatically come here. Okay, you can just check the thing. Okay, in this you are two axis, x and y axis, and you can see different views here. Okay, you need not to worry about the views initially. Then place it anywhere and start typing the text. That is, I'm just using capital letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Okay, like this you can type the text. Once you are done, just give an enter. Okay, it will come to the next line. If you are done with the thing, okay, just make the cursor away and then give an enter. Automatically it will go off. Similarly, you can define the same thing. If you want to go to the previous command, the command what we have used. Okay, I have used the text, so it will automatically go to the switch to the text. Specify the height again. Okay, here I am just using 5 mm. Okay, angle as 0. So the moment you just type this, automatically it will come. That is, I'll just write the small letters. Okay, like this you can type alphabets, numerical numbers. Okay, like this you can type anything in AutoCAD. This is the very first thing. Okay, so after this, if you want to delete the whole text or a part of the text, you can just select it with your mouse, then click on delete. Okay, automatically it goes off. automatically this will goes off. Okay, so apart from this, I can make some entities. Okay, I can make some entities like square, rectangle, etc. So for this, basically you require a line command. Okay, so the basic entity which I am going to make is a square. So select any point. See, beside this you can see the text, you can see the whatever the dimension. Okay, I just make 20 cross 20. Okay, 20 mm, the first one. Then just move it towards the x-axis, you get 20 here. Vertically you move it just 20. Then again horizontally backwards you move it, you will get 20. That's it, your square is formed. Okay, so in order to give dimension for this square, okay, you can select, okay, you can select dimensioning, or click on annotate, go for linear dimension. There are different types of dimensionings. Okay, so click on the very first point and the second point, but the text is not visible here, and you have to zoom in and zoom out by using your scroll button. In order to make the text visible and the different colors of this dimensioning, okay, go for the command dim style, style, dim style. Okay, so click on modify, then go for lines. Okay, so the basic dimensioning line should be different from your actual lines, right? Your basic dimensioning line should be different from actual lines. I'm just selecting yellow for this. Okay, then extension lines, okay, dimensioning lines you keep it white also, that doesn't matter, but preferably the extension lines should be different. Okay, these extension lines should be different. So the extension lines I've just made it by yellow color. So don't change anything related with this. Go to symbols and arrows. The arrow size should be, you can select any arrow size. I'm just selecting 3. Okay, you can select 3 by default, and the text size also should be 3. If it is not so, you can see the arrows have expanded in a very rapid way. Okay, then after this go to primary units, go for the precision 0. Okay, then go, don't change any other units here, click OK, then set current. If you want to modify, you can modify the text color also. Okay, I'm just changing the text color to red. Okay, text color to red, so because it will be more visible. So after this set current, click close. Automatically you can see this extension line should not touch this actual figure. There should be some gap. Okay, when you just zoom in, you can just identify it very clearly. Go for another linear dimensioning, then give a dimensioning part. Okay, so like this I can make a rectangle, but or a triangle. Okay, but before going for triangle, just switch off the ortho mode. Or you can just switch on F8. Okay, or you can type ortho and then click enter, just click on off. Okay, so like this you can change. Ortho means exactly 90 degrees, whatever you draw would be 90 degrees, right? After this go for a line. Okay, draw a horizontal line, that would be 30. I'm just making an equilateral triangle. Then click on tab in order to change the angle. Okay, here the angle should be 0. Okay, give an enter. So since it is an equilateral triangle, I'm just using this method. Go to the central part, draw a height of 30, then an angle of 90. Okay, so only thing is I have to, in order to get the top point, I just made it, then join these 2 points and join these 2 points. Okay, so delete it, right? So for this also you can go with dimensioning. So go for annotate, then go for aligned dimension, because this is an aligned dimension. Okay, select this and this point, sorry, aligned dimensioning, the very first point and the last point. See, the problem is in equilateral triangle I didn't made any proper estimation. That's the reason I got 34. Okay, so if this height is improper, then this angle would come. Okay, or you can go with an angular method. Okay, an angular method. What would be the angle between 2 lines? Because in this case the horizontal line is already 30. How could I make a vertical line with the same 30? What is the angle for an equilateral triangle?
60.
60
60
degrees, right? So in that case, I would go with line which is 30 and an angle of 60. Okay, so automatically when you just make the dimensioning, it will be proper 30 degrees. Sorry, 30 mm, right? So in this way also you can construct a triangle, right? But how to make the angle between this line and this line? So for this, go to annotate. In this you have something called as angular. Okay, angular, click on that, select the first and second line, automatically it will show the angle. Similarly for the other part also, just make the thing, okay, 60 degrees. Now for the same figure, if you want to give naming, okay, I have already told you in the very first thing, that is single line text. Okay, just mention single line text of, let us say, 5 mm or less than that, or maybe I'm just selecting 2 mm for this, and the angle should be 0. Okay, I can click anywhere in order to start naming the thing. A, B, C and D. Go in clockwise or anti-clockwise, that's up to you. Okay, that's it. Your naming is also done. If you want to change the color of this text, okay, color of this text, there is an option here on top in properties, object color. Okay, I'm just changing it to yellow color or maybe any typical color. Okay, so like this you can click and you can change the color. Okay, right? So this is how you can change the color of the text also, right? Any doubt till now? Okay.
Sir,
Next we'll switch
why
to
did
the
you turn out the ortho mode?
ortho mode. See, if ortho mode is on, let us say the ortho mode is on, I cannot draw any angular lines. For example, I'm just making 40. If I want to draw another line, it would be 90. It won't go to any other line. It will be 0 or 90. Okay, or 180 or okay, whatever the angle, it would be an incremental of 90 degrees. Okay, so
Okay.
ortho mode is basically used when you have 90-degree orientation, right? So now we'll go to the circle method, or how to make the circles. Okay, center and radius method is one method. So select any center and the radius, let us say 20 mm. So how to give a notation for this, or how to give the naming for this, or how to dimension it? So click on annotate and then go for radius. Okay, since you have taken the dimension as radius, go for radius. Okay, click on radius, select it, it would be R20. Okay, so the same circle, if you are drawing it with a different method, that is with a diameter method, so diameter would be 40 in this case. Okay, same circle but the dimensioning method is different. Annotate, click on diameter, so it would show something as pi. Okay, pi 40, both are the same but dimensioning method is different. Okay, so there are different objects like ellipse, other things. Okay, so I am just using ellipse and one method. Okay, ellipse and axis method is the best method, but if you want to draw center and the axis method also, that is also fine. Click on ellipse, then select the center. This is the horizontal distance. Ellipse will have how many foci? 2 foci, right? So the first one is horizontal, which is 150 I'm just making, and the vertical height as, let us say, 70. So this is also one method. Okay, but you cannot define anything related to this except the linear dimensioning, right? Except the linear dimensioning, you cannot make anything associated with this. So give a dimension like this. Okay, always make sure the smaller dimension, okay, the smaller dimension should be interior and the linear dimension should be, sorry, whatever the larger dimension should be exterior. Okay, this is 300 cross 150 because it has considered the radius, not the diameter, right? This is how you can make. Okay, if you are planning to make, let us say, I'll just make you to understand what is the smaller dimension, what is this larger dimension. This is one rectangle and you have one more rectangle interior. How to make the dimension for this especially. Okay, so when you have figures like this, okay, so the dimensioning method should be this way. In this case all are linear, so I'll go for this. So interior dimension, okay, this is the smallest dimension, right? And the largest dimension should be exterior because there won't be any overlap. This is how the dimensioning should be. Okay, similarly you have the vertical part, So make the largest dimension outwards and the smaller dimensioning inwards, right? Are you getting it? Sorry.
Yes.
Sir, every time we make a new dimension, does it change the font size of the markings?
Yes, at times there won't be any change, but at times there might be. If you are planning to do all the things in one single space, then you have to be careful. Okay, dimensioning things will change because I'm just zooming in and zooming out for this. Okay, so did you understand till here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So scale one you said earlier. Sir.
Scale is a different thing. I'll tell you. This is a basic thing. Don't ask questions or keep the questions at the end of this session so that I'll answer it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. See, this is about the week 1. Week 1, you have to do some basic entities like this. Okay. Similarly, can you see the screen? You have week 2. I'll just try to share week 2. Yeah. Okay, I have shared all the question papers in one go in the what do you call group, but you can ask it. Okay, just a second. Entities in this exercise, you can draw it. Okay, I will share the question paper once again in the group. Okay, week number 1 to 2, it is pretty simple. Okay, 1 to 2, it is pretty simple, and I have shared multiple videos on the YouTube. You just go through the videos. Okay, and I'll tell you some basic fundamental commands where you can start drawing these things and all. Okay, so second exercise is basically how to draw tangent, how to draw ellipse, how to draw curves, different curves, special curves. Okay, so how to draw cycloids, involutes and all. Okay, it's pretty simple method. You can go through the YouTube videos, and for this thing particularly there are some fundamental commands which I'll share with you. So the command is point. Okay, so for example, you make a line, let us say of 100. If you are planning to divide this line into 10 equal parts. Okay, so if you are planning to divide this thing into 10 equal parts, just a second, I'll share the screen. If you are planning to divide this into 10 equal parts, this line, I just made a line, just a line of 100 mm, and I just want to divide this line into 10 equal parts. Okay, so the command use this div. Okay, divide, divide. Okay, so click on that, select this object. It will prompt you for the number of segments. I'll just give 10, but technically you cannot visualize this, okay, unless until you mark the points. Okay, so the point marking is ddp type. Okay, ddp type. The command is ddp type. Select any typical thing. I'm just selecting this for ease of use, and then set the size in absolute units, make it as 5, click OK. So the moment I made this, automatically the points have been appeared. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3 and so on till 10. Okay, in the week 2 basically you have to divide, okay, and then make curve. Okay, make curve. So I have, so okay, so there is, see, if you have different points, okay, I have just different points at different places. One point, then followed by second point, then third point, then fourth point, and then fifth point, and so on. If I want to draw a curve that is passing through all these points, the command used is spline, spline. So start with the first thing, second, third, 4 and 5, just make it inwards, enter. Okay, so you can draw a curve that is passing through different points. Similarly, this will be more or less useful in all the second exercise problems. Okay, all the second exercise problems I have already shared it on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe and just have a look of this particular method how to do one single problem, individual problems. Okay, similar, just mute your mic everyone. Okay, we have another fundamental, that is how to draw points above, below, in front of, VP, etc., etc. So that method is basically used when you are planning to project points. Okay, points projection. So in points projection, okay, assume something like this: two planes that are intersecting together. Okay, one plane is called as horizontal plane, other plane is called as vertical plane. When you have this typical thing, when you have this typical intersection of two planes, you will basically get four quadrants: quadrant 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, quadrant 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, how will you identify a point in a particular quadrant? Okay, you have an observer in this side, you can visualize here, and the observer is actually looking a point. Okay, so for example, if a point is lying above HP and in front of VP, that is above horizontal plane, in front of vertical plane, you have a point that is located in first quadrant. Similarly, a point that is located in second quadrant is identified by behind VP and above HP. Similarly, a point that is located in third quadrant is identified by below HP and behind VP. Okay, below HP and behind VP. Similarly, a point that is located in fourth quadrant is identified by in front of VP and below HP. Okay, so how will you identify quadrant 1? Can you please answer my question?
Above HP and in front of VP.
Okay, quadrant 2?
Above HP and behind VP.
Okay,
Below
some other person, the recent joinee, roll number 91 is here. Okay, Srimati, can you answer my question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how will you identify the point that is located in third quadrant?
Third quadrant, above,
Third quadrant. Below HP.
below HP and above VP.
No, behind VP.
Behind VP. Okay.
Okay, this is VP, vertical plane, behind VP, below HP. Rohit, fourth quadrant.
So fourth quadrant is below HP and ahead of VP.
Okay. No, not ahead. Don't call it as ahead. It is below HP and in front of VP. Okay, in front of VP. Rishita, second quadrant.
Yes, sir. It is behind VP and above HP.
Very good. Okay. Shantanu, third quadrant.
Sir, below HP, behind VP.
Okay, very good. And Pratmesh, are you there? Vamsi?
Sir,
Can you answer the question? How will you represent fourth quadrant?
fourth below HP and in front of VP.
Very good. Okay. See, like this, you have different orientations, but this is like a 3D figure. Is it clear? This is a 3D figure. This is a 2D figure. But when you want to plot a projection means what? What do you understand by the word projection? Projecting. So in movie theaters, you have a projector that is projecting a movie on a screen. Am I clear? It is projecting a movie on a screen. For example, if I make an obstacle in between the projection and the screen, where would be the reflected projection be there? Like, where will be it? See, you have light at one end, an object at in middle, and at the back side of this object you got a screen. Okay, where will be the shadow of this particular object if it is a complete
Screen.
exactly on the screen? Okay, let us imagine you have a point here. I am just projecting light on the point. Where will be the projection? On the vertical plane. Okay, if this is the case, if I am looking from top side, the point is here. Where will be the projection? Projection would be
On
on
HP.
HP. Similarly, Second quadrant also it's the same thing. Okay, you have a point here. I'm just projecting it this side. The vertical plane would be the front view. Okay, the front view would be on the vertical plane, top view would be on the horizontal plane. Keep one thing in mind, always the front view is projected on the vertical plane. Is this clear? A front view would be projected on vertical plane, clear, and the top view would be projected on horizontal plane. Is this point clear to you? Any doubts?
So if the position of the observer changes, then the quadrants will also exchange, right?
No, it is by default. Observer will always look, see, consider all these planes are transparent planes. In that case, no matter wherever the observer looks, okay, it depends upon the point location only, not any other thing. Okay, so let us start with the projection of first quadrant. Okay, projection of first quadrant. Look at this one. Observer is looking point A. So the front view is projected on vertical plane. Front view is projected on vertical plane. It is always notated by a letter which is smaller in case, that is for point A, which is capital 1, we got A dash. The front view would be A dash. Okay, similarly the top view would be A, just A. Okay, top view would be just A. You might be asking a question, why the point is here, sir, why not be here? Okay, see, in case of projections we require a flat plane, one single plane. We are projecting on a 2D plane, right? We are projecting on a 2D plane. So 3D projection is impossible, right? What we are doing is we are just rotating the horizontal plane, this horizontal plane by 90 degrees. Okay, so that vertical plane and horizontal plane will align in order to create a single plane. Okay, single plane. Okay, so this rotation is clockwise by 90 degrees. Okay, clockwise by 90 degrees. So whatever the projection that is being made here will be projected on this side. Similarly, in second quadrant, okay, in second quadrant you have point A which is projected on vertical plane, and when you are looking from this side you got projection A here, okay, which will be rotated by 90 degrees. So the projection A will be on the vertical plane only, right? Vertical plane only. Similarly, in third quadrant, okay, a point is here, so the front view would be projected here. When this particular thing is rotated by 90 degrees, it will be above the XY line. Okay, so the intersection point in this case is called as an XY line, right? Similarly, in fourth quadrant, what happens? A point is located here, so the front view would be here. Similarly, top view would be projected here. Okay, when the observer is looking from this side, you got a top view here. When it is rotated by 90 degrees, it will be like this. See, in first quadrant, the projection will be front view would be above XY line, top view would be below XY line. Similarly, in second quadrant, both the front view and top view would be above XY plane or XY line. Okay, in third quadrant you have exactly reverse of the first quadrant. Okay, the front view would be below XY line and the top view would be above XY line. Similarly, in fourth quadrant, it is exactly opposite to the second quadrant. Both front view and top view projections will be in the below XY line. Okay, below XY line. Okay, let us solve few problems on this quickly. Okay, so let us have a look of this exercise. Okay, so can you visualize the screen? Okay, so I'll solve one or two problems. Later part you can take care of your own. Okay, so you have draw the projections of the points on the same reference keeping a projector 25 mm apart each other. Okay, this is the problem that is given. A point A is 10 mm above HP and 10 mm in front of VP. Which quadrant this point is
First
located?
quadrant.
Above and in front of VP. Okay,
First
how to
quadrant.
start projecting this? Can you visualize the screen, guys? Is the AutoCAD screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so draw a horizontal line, some unlimited length. I'm just taking it as 100. Okay, what is the thing that is given? A point A 10 mm above HP and 10 mm in front of VP. Okay, look into this particular thing. 10 mm above HP, okay, 10 mm in front of VP, above HP in front of VP. Okay, this is the location of the point. Okay, so I have first point 10 mm, okay, 10 mm which can be visualized in the top view, and 10 mm I can visualize in the front view as well. Okay, so where should be the front view? Okay, front view should be 10 mm above. Select any point, random point, and then draw a line of 10 mm. Okay, then select a point by DD-P type, DD-P type, then select this point, click OK, then click on the command point, POINT, point. Okay, select this as the line, select this as the line. I request you to mute yourself. Similarly, you have one more line which is 10 mm below XY line, which is the top view. In top view you can visualize this. Okay, so again use the command point, then mark the point. Okay, is this thing clear? But these are constructor lines, these are constructor lines. You can make them in a different way. In order to notate the point, just mention a text of height 2 mm, angle as 0, just to make it as A dash, okay, and A. Similarly, you can follow with the question number 2. Okay, 10 mm above HP, 10 mm behind VP, 10 mm behind VP. How would you draw this thing? Okay, so in this case it is located in which quadrant? Quadrant number 2, right? Quadrant number 2. Is this thing okay, guys? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So the same case you have to repeat the same thing, like this line, draw a line which is 10 mm above. Okay, but in the question it is given as the distance between the projector should be 25 mm apart. Okay, that means this projector and this projector, it should be 25 mm apart. So draw a horizontal line of 25 mm, then start a vertical line from this point wherever you have made this 25 mm. Okay, this is place where you made 25 mm. So now it is 10 mm above HP. So look into the quadrant number 2. Okay, the front view and top view both are in the quadrant number 2. Since the distance is equal, okay, 10 mm above, 10 mm in front, okay, 10 mm behind, sorry. So both are equal, you would get a same point as the location. Okay, so use point. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you will get same location as point. Okay, single line text which is 2 mm, angle as 0, A, okay, and A dash, or I'm just making it as point B in order to avoid confusion, and B dash. This is an overlapping point. Okay, overlapping point. Similarly, you repeat it for the all the things. Okay, is this thing clear? Okay, now how to project lines? Okay, projecting lines is also one simple concept. So you have a line, that is, there are different orientations of the lines. Okay, line that is perpendicular to both HP and parallel to VP. Okay, line that is perpendicular to HP, horizontal plane it is perpendicular, and parallel to VP. So if you just check a line like this, okay, this is the line. The true length, okay, the line AB, true length will be projected on vertical plane when you are looking in the front view, but top view would be a point, because when you are looking from top it would look like a point. Any doubt in this? Hello, guys, am I audible?
Sir, please repeat the line part.
Okay, a line that is perpendicular to HP, line is perpendicular to horizontal plane. Line AB, the orange color line, is it perpendicular to horizontal plane? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And it is parallel to VP, right? Parallel to VP. Front
Yes,
view, you can visualize a line. Okay, front view you can visualize a line. Top view you can visualize a point. Clear? Top view you can visualize a point. So the projection would be like this. Whatever maybe, this is XY line. Above XY line you got a line which is AB. So this distance is not given. Okay, you have to assume the distances. Okay, similarly you got one more thing, that is what do you call, TV, okay, the top view, which is a point which is below xy line. Okay, so the same projection I will do it now. I am assuming the line length as 40 mm, okay, 40 mm, which is located at 20 mm above HP, 20 mm above HP, and 30 mm in front of VP. Line 40 mm, 20 mm above HP, 30 mm in front of VP. So the line length is 40. So how to start drawing this? Okay, same XY line you draw of some unlimited length. Then first thing is you have to identify what is the location. Okay, here in this case it is 20 mm above HP. So first above HP you draw 20 mm line. Okay, 20 mm line. This can be deleted later on. So which is 20 mm now. Okay, after this you have to draw a line which is being projected. So the line that is 40 mm. Okay, the line that is 40 mm. So from here you draw the true length of the line which is 40 mm. Now delete this constructor line. This line is called as constructor line. Okay, now after this it is 30 mm in front of VP. That can be visualized in top view. Okay, 30 mm in front of VP, this distance. Okay, so that can be visualized in top view. So from the XY line, okay, exactly from here, from the XY line, draw 30 mm. Okay, draw 30 mm, after which you have to project a point. We have to project a point, right? Delete this line. So the visualization for line AB is like this. Okay, so that is, I'll just make the thing single line text of, let us say, 2 mm, angle is 0. Use tab if you don't get an angle, which is A dash. Okay, or I'll just increase the text size so that you can understand it better, which is 5 mm, tab 0, angle is 0. So here it is A dash, then B dash. This is the front view, but in the point, when you are looking from this side, when you are looking from top side, only point A dash will be visible, but B dash will not be visible, or point A will be visible, B dash will not be visible. So how to make this? Okay, first thing is A, okay, A followed by B dash. If you are keeping this point in brackets, that means you are basically understanding that the point is not visible. Okay, so in the PDF it is not given, but this is how you have to, sorry, this is not B dash, this is B. Okay, so this is how you have to notate it, right? We have got one more combination, that is a line parallel to both the planes. Okay, line parallel to both the planes. How would you draw such kind of projections? Okay, similarly I have just made a line that is parallel to both the planes, but here if it is parallel to both the planes, the distance from HP and distance from VP should be equal. Okay, should be equal. So I am assuming this vertical distance and horizontal distance as 20 each. The line length is 40. How to draw this? Okay, first you make a projection of 20. Then after this you draw a horizontal line of 40. Here the true length can be visualized in both the planes. Okay, true length can be visualized in both the planes. Similarly you draw 20 downwards because it is 20 in front of VP also. Okay, 20 above HP, 20 in front of VP. So this is the line which is 40. Okay, so you have to delete both the things because these are projector lines. How to mark them? Okay, take a single line text, then make 5 mm, angle as 0, then you can place it here, which is A dash, B dash. Okay, this one is A and this one is B. Okay, you have to give the dimensioning for all the things, all the cases you have to give dimensioning, right? I have chosen linear dimensioning, this length which is 40, and from here the height also should be measured very clearly, which is 20 here. The location of the point also should be measured from the this part, okay, which is 30. Okay, similarly you have to give dimensioning for this line. First I'll make the distance from here, Similarly, distance from the point A and A dash followed by both the distances. Okay. So exactly what do you mean by a line? Line is basically a shortest distance that connects 2 points. Okay. So that's a fundamental definition. I have just skipped it. Is this thing clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So similarly, you have one more combination, that is inclination. Okay. Line inclined to HP and parallel to VP. This is one combination. Okay. So I'm just assuming the angle of inclination is 30 and the line length is 40. Okay. Line length is 40, angular inclination is 30. Okay. How to start drawing this particular projection? See, you can extend this line any length, just click and drag it. Okay. So the point is located 30 mm above HP, 30 mm above HP, 40 mm in front of VP, 30 mm above HP, 40 mm in front of VP. Total length is 40, angle is 30. Keep this thing in mind. Okay. So what is this height? 30 mm above, 40 mm in front. Okay. 30 mm above, first you draw a line. 30 mm above, you first draw a line. Sorry. Then you draw a horizontal line, unlimited length. You can later delete it. From here, make sure the ortho is off. Okay. Now you take this point. The total length is 40 and the angle, use tab to switch to angle 30. Okay, I've just made a line. This is the line which I need. Later which you can delete this. Okay. But you can keep a small reference line for making the angle. Okay, that's just an unlimited length, or maybe you can limit it. Now just to project these verticals downwards, this vertical exactly downwards, use 90-degree projection. Okay, some unlimited length with an angle of 90. Okay, I'm just choosing unlimited length. Now similarly project this vertical downwards. Okay, again here also it's 90, and then the angle is also 90. Okay, why 90? Because it's a vertical projection, right? Now I said this distance, this vertical distance is 40. So from here you take a line of, later you can delete all these lines, which is 40, then 90 degrees. Draw a horizontal line that is connecting both. Okay, draw a horizontal line that is connecting both. Delete all these things, use delete button. Okay, in order to delete everything. Okay, now you can make them according to the dimensioning. First thing is, I'll just make the angle first for this line. Okay, I've already told it is 30. Okay, interior angle you have to measure. Then aligned dimensioning for what is the total length. The total length is 40 here. Distance from here to here also you have to measure. Okay, that distance is being measured in this way. Click on this and this. This is 30. Again, the distance from this point and this point has to be measured, which is 40 again. This length is unknown. Okay, this length is unknown. Okay, you need not to measure what is the length. If you want, you can measure it, that's not a problem, but it will be an odd length, it will be not the true length. Okay, so this is 40. Since it is inclined by 30 degrees, when you are looking from the top view, you have to measure the, you need not to worry about the length because it will vary. Okay, is this thing clear? This is how the projection is being made. Okay, similarly, how to start with a line that is inclined to VP and parallel to HP? I am just assuming the same dimensions but in a different way. So first thing is, in top view it is located at 40 mm. Okay, below, then the angle is 90. Then from here you make the line which is with an angle of 30. Okay, with an angle of 30. Before that you draw a horizontal line of some unlimited length. Then you make a line length of how much? Which is 40, and the angle should be 30. Okay, enter. Right, this reference line you can just reduce it to a shorter length. Similarly, you project it upwards, project this point upwards with a 90-degree projection. Okay, which is 90, then followed by 90. Okay, now since this distance is 40 mm above, okay, 40 mm above, Just make a line of 40, then tab of 90. Draw a line that is joining both. Okay. I'll just extend this line. Okay. So this is how a top view and the front view would look like if the line is inclined to VP and parallel to HP. Okay. Same projection, but it in a different way. Okay. Right. Clear? Any doubts in this? Hello?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. Make the dimensions properly and then name it, because I'm just skipping the name in order to limit the time and all. Okay. Let us assume you have a plane instead of line. First we have started with points, then lines, then now we'll switch to planes. Okay. So it is the same concept more or less. A plane that is parallel to, you know what is a plane? Plane is basically a closed surface that is connected by multiple lines. Line is formed by joining two or more points. Okay. And that's the shortest distance, and plane is by joining multiple lines. Okay. So let us assume a plane of side length as a square plane. Okay. A square plane of side length 20 cross 20 is located, okay, 30 mm in front of VP and 40 mm above HP. 30 mm in front of VP, 40 mm above HP. Draw its projections. Okay. Draw its projections. Okay. A plane which is like this. Okay. A plane which is like this. Okay. So I'm just giving you a rough idea. So in order to draw a rectangle, there is an option straight away. Just click on that. So which is 20 cross 20. Okay. Straight away you can just make the rectangle. But in order to move it to certain location, first you have to make the location, which is 30 mm above, 30 mm in front of VP. So 30 mm you draw. Okay. Then just move this, use move command. There is something called as MOVE. Select this object, then give an enter. Select this corner. Select this corner for movement. Okay. Place it here. Place it here. Right. Okay. Now just you have to project it downwards. Okay, which is 40 mm below XY line. So this is here 30, then from here it should be 40. Now what will be the top view? Top view would be just a line, right? When you are projecting it downwards, it's just a line. Right? Just a line. So just join these two lines. Now the biggest problem is how you make the notations to it. Okay. Click on this single line, select 5 mm, select any corner. I'm just selecting this corner, which is 5 mm. Then okay, this is A, this is A dash, B dash, C dash and D dash. Right. How will you notate this? Okay, it is lying on the same line. So C dash and D dash are visible and B dash and A dash are invisible. Okay, right? So just mark it, which is C and make the B in bracket. Okay, similarly D, okay, similarly D and A in bracket. Right? So done. Okay, that's it. This is how you project the planes. There are different orientations and different angles for this. Okay, you just follow the YouTube videos for different views and different angles. Just mute your mic for a while. Let me finish this. try to avoid overlapping of these notations in order to okay. Yeah, now you ask the doubt. What is this?
Sir, to annotate the line, sir, the bracket system I'm having confusion, sir. Please, once again, you can explain.
Okay, I'll explain. See, you are looking from this side. Okay, you are looking from this side. From here you are looking. Here is your eye. Your eye is here. Now when you are looking from this side, what would you realize? You can visualize this line alone. That is C dash and D dash. But A and B is also there. Okay, what I am doing is C and D is visible, A and B is invisible. Okay. Similarly, when these notations change, I will just change the notations and I will change the bottom part also. And just going with this thing, which is A, B and all. Okay, which is A dash. I'm just going in a clockwise direction. B dash, C dash and D dash. Can somebody tell which point is visible and which point is invisible now? A and B are
A dash,
visible.
B dash.
A dash and B dash are visible. D and C are invisible. You have to just change the notations of this. That's it. Okay. What is this? B dash is visible and B is visible. Since it is top view, I'm just copying and pasting it. It's just simple control C and control V. A is visible and D is invisible, right? This is how you make the dimension. Similarly, if the plane is inclined or something like that, according to that you have to draw. You can just go through the YouTube videos for that. So since there is a time limitation, so I'm just limiting it like this. Okay. So now you have ended up with projection of lines, points and planes. Okay. So you have one more thing, which is projection of solids. Okay, projection of solids. So in order to start with this projection of solids, okay, just keep. In order to switch to 3D, we have the exercise number 5. We have arrived at 5. So in exercise 5, you have to start working on 3D models. So in order to do that, switch to 3D modeling. Okay, switch to 3D modeling. Once you switch to 3D modeling, okay, now the top ribbon, whatever the ribbon is there, the top ribbon has been completely changed, right? Now you can visualize a 3D perspective by clicking on this pane button, okay, this home button. Automatically it will switch to 3D. You can have different perspectives, that is, now we are in southwest isometric. Okay, this type of viewing is called as southwest isometric. You can visualize different views by clicking on here: top view, bottom view, left side view, right side view, front view and back view, etc. There are a lot of orientations. But if you want to switch to isometric view, you can just click on this. Okay, southwest isometric, right? Okay, this is how the southwest isometric should look like. Okay, now how to start with the question number 1. Just have a look of the question number 1. In question number 1, it has been given as a cube of 40 cross 40 resting on the ground with one of its vertical faces inclined to the wall. Wall means vertical plane. Am I clear? Draw its projections. This is what been asked. Okay, now first we will construct a cube, then we will rotate the cube, then we'll start projecting it. Okay, in order to construct a cube, there is an option called as box. Okay, there is an option called as box. Cube will have how many sides, how many faces, how many corners, how many vertical faces, horizontal faces and all. Okay, that part I'll explain you. Click on box first. First we'll construct a cube which is 40 and then give a tab of 40. Then the height is also 40. Automatically it will generate a cube. But here it won't look like a cube. In order to switch to 3D, you can go to shades of gray or conceptual drawing. I'm just selecting conceptual drawing because it's more realistic. This is the cube. In top view it would look like this. in front view it would look like this, in the side view, in the left side view it would look like this. So these are some orientations. Now we have to rotate this cube at how many degrees, that has been asked. It is making 40 degrees inclined to the wall, 40 degrees inclined to the wall. Okay, so that inclination can be visualized in top view. Okay, 40 degrees can be visualized in top view. Okay, in order to rotate it, use the command 3D rotate. 3D rotate. Click on this object, give an enter. You will get 3 rings. Okay, so which ring you have to select? Can somebody tell? Blue one, orange or red? Yeah guys, please respond. See, it has to be rotated with respect to wall. Wall means vertical thing. Vertical means vertical ring. Okay, this ring. Okay, it has to be rotated by an angle of 40. That's it. Your question is done. So in the top view you can visualize the angle. Guys, are you there or sleeping?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are.
Okay. So just have a look. Okay. Now how to do the projection for this? Now the rotation has been done. How to do the projection? Okay. In order to do the projection, okay, this is the model. You have to create a layout for the model. Okay. So for this view, there is an option called as view, base. Okay. But before that, you have to switch to first angle projection. Okay. So in order to go for that, so click on view, then click on the first angle projection, or type the command view standard, view std, give an enter. One window will pop up. Okay, so in this window select first angle projection. Okay, first angle projection, click OK. This is mandatory, right? After this view, base, model from space, select this model, then give an enter. Layout name as question number 1, Q1, give an enter. Now automatically it will switch to the layout mode. Okay, so this layout mode, you can click on the first object, give an enter. Then this is the side view. Okay, this is the top view, this is your isometric view. This is how the projection is being made. Okay, now how to do dimensioning for this? Only in the top view you can visualize most of the dimensions. So before that, use the command dim style and adjust the parameters. Okay, modify, use. Okay, all these things are modified already, so you can just start dimensioning it. So first thing is I have to just make an angle. Okay, so draw a vertical line to some length, let us say 5, and then angle is 90. So in one vertical projection you can identify the angle, not only this one. So go to annotate, go for angular dimensioning. Okay, so this text size is way high. Okay, reduce the text size, so use dim style, then modify the text size to very low. Okay, or you can just change the parameters of the layout. Okay, you can just change the parameters of the layout. So layout parameter changing and all I have told in one video, you can just go through the video. Okay, or dim style, just for time purpose I am just using dim style, reduce to dim style. Okay, it is 40 here. Okay, then followed by the dimension or aligned dimension, which is 40 cross 40, right? Okay, so you have to annotate them again, name them with all the sides and all. Okay, A dash, B dash and all. Okay, you can just take care of that. Is this thing clear, guys? Any doubts in this?
Sir, can you once again explain the projection part?
Projection part, okay. So in order to give a projection, go to home, view, then click on view standard, this corner arrow button, or you can type the command view std. Okay, select the first angle projection. I have explained in one video about first angle projections and all. Then go through that. Then click on base, view, base, model from space. Select this model, enter, give a layout name, Q11, I am just taking it. Now a new layout has been created. First place the object. This is your which view? Above XY line, front view. This is your right, since you are placing it on the right side, it is left side view. Okay. Base, model from space, select this object, Q11. Front view, give an enter. Side view, bring it downwards. Top view, isometric view. Clear? Okay. Now we'll just have a look of other questions as well. Okay. So square prism of base. Okay. I'll just tell you what is a prism. Okay. So what is the difference between prism and pyramid? What do you understand by prism and pyramid? Any idea? Okay. So a prism is something like you are projecting the base with a parallel projection. Okay, with a parallel projection. For example, I have something called as some hexagonal or pentagonal prism if I want to make. Okay, so first you construct a pentagon. Okay, later we'll just switch to this thing. Okay, I'm just using pentagon, number of sides. Click on this pentagon symbol or polygon, or type the command polygon. It will ask for number of sides. I'm just making it as 5. I'm just making a pentagonal prism 5. So I'm just selecting edge. Okay, edge. So one edge I'm just drawing it by, let us say 30 mm as edge. Okay, or the side length. Here the side length is 30 mm. Okay, the side length is 30 mm. You can just have a look. Since I have reduced the annotation level, it has been gone to very low level. Okay, so this is 30 mm. Okay, now how to create a prism out of this? Okay, there is an option called as extrude. There is an option called as extrude. Click on extrude, select this object, give an enter. It will ask for height. I'm just making 40 mm height. Okay, this is one face. Okay, this is one face of the one particular face, whatever that has been notated. This corner is called as edge, this edge part. Okay, and this is the when two edges join together, that is called as a corner. This is face. Okay, if I just switch to the 2D wireframe, you can understand. This is one particular side. Okay, bottom base and top base and axis height. Okay, it got certain components like this. You can rotate or you can do whatever with this particular thing. Okay, and then you can do the same projection method. For example, if I want to rotate the prism, okay, with respect to horizontal plane. Okay, with respect to horizontal plane. So use 3D rotate. Then select this object. Which ring I have to select? The green one. So it has to be rotated by 45 degrees. Okay, so now I got something which is rotated by 45 degrees, right? Now when you are looking in the front view, you can visualize that 45 degrees rotation. Okay, any doubt in this? This is the top view. How does it look like? Okay, top view is not exactly the way it is supposed to be. Okay, now same procedure, view base, model from space, but before that you just select the first angle projection. So front view, you can visualize the angle. This is how the thing look like. Okay, so only in the front view I can visualize the angular notation. Okay, so I can just go to okay, this 45 degrees can be visualized in the front view only. Okay, so like this there are different orientations which have been made. Okay, any doubts in this? Okay, then I think we have come to a conclusion. Okay, So that's all for today.